Hello and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, ET&R's special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. Here's what we have lined up on the show today. Snippets from an event that we did earlier on in Jaipur. And on Bright Sparks tonight, we're featuring V2 switchgears and cables as well as Paperman. So that's what we have lined up for you tonight. Let's get started. In a continued effort to reach out to you, the MSME entrepreneur directly, we do a series of on-ground events across the country, 15 in fact, and we were in Jaipur recently. On the show tonight, we're bringing you snippets from some of the biggest voices at that event. Take a listen.
It's my pleasure and honor to welcome you to the Leaders of Tomorrow MSME Connect event here in the palatial Pink City of Jaipur.
I think recently there was a survey that which raised about how much capital startup has raised, and I think apart from metro, Jaipur was the number one city, ahead of even Ahmedabad and Chandigarh, where the entrepreneurs have raised more capital than entrepreneurs in Ahmedabad and Chandigarh. So apart from other than all the metros, Jaipur was the number 6th or number 7th. So that speaks a lot about our capabilities and the potential as an entrepreneur. Rajasthanis or Marwadis, whatever you call, we have always been a traditional entrepreneur, of course, and our risk appetite has always been higher. I think it's one of the best times that I can say for most of the SME entrepreneurs or most of the entrepreneurs as of today, that this is one of the best times what we are seeing today and the kind of opportunities which are there. The only thing is that the way a business is conducted or the way an entrepreneur has to look has changed.
Initially, I have little knowledge of business and finance as I spend my time with weavers in villages. As a result, I have to face a lot of problems, and it was one of the most challenging moments of my life where I had to learn the things which I did not learn in the past 20 years of my life. I was highly successful at working with the people at grassroots, but now I have to learn new skills and change my leadership style to run a global business. I observed that it was me who was restricting the growth of the organization, as I was everywhere in each decision. So I have to remove myself, my perception, and see every decision and use natural talent, wisdom and capability of the individual to see the things as they are, not as I want them to be. I attribute the success of Jaipur Rug to some of the following factors. First is our vertical integration and nurturing capability of people at the grassroots. Secondly, passing on more benefits to the weavers, while hand-knotted carpet face good value in the market.
The initial struggle in Jaipur, this was in 2007. The first struggle was to actually find people to do work. And we obviously did not have any funds to do any of cool hiring or lateral hiring or senior hiring. So we got our first orders. We hired freshers here. We hired about 20 odd freshers, and the team had to deliver collectively. So we had to train. We organized a boot camp of these 20 people for about 2 months. And I think kudos to the team which actually stood up by our expectation levels, and we were finally able to win more contracts and satisfy all our customers. That's how the entire journey of Grinnard Software started. The idea was to invest into the company's future and build products which can basically take the company to the next scale. Both the companies which we worked for were also product companies, so to say. So we thought of, we actually opened 4 different portals. Car Dekho was one of them, but we opened up an online jewelry portal, which was selling silver jewelry to people in US. We were procuring from here and we were selling in US. We opened up a portal in astrology where you would get online predictions. We had built a simulation of human brain, how an astrologer interprets Vedic rules of astrology and then create a patri and then basically give predictions based on that. And we did a portal on stock trading. So we had built a simulation of a stock game where you could just come and play and trade intraday, all those kinds of things, build a portfolio and stuff. And the fourth one is obviously Car Dekho. So at Car Dekho, we just don't build things for consumer, which you see the app or the website. We're also building tools for dealerships on how to run their business. We're building a sales CRM on how you can drive lead conversion out of your business. So there are actually B2B verticals within the Car Dekho ecosystem which are actually driving value for OEMs. So a lot of OEMs are actually using our solutions to improve their processes on how they should sell cars, how they should follow up on leads, how they should set up their KPIs, how they should measure themselves. So from that standpoint, I think Girnar as a company is trying to build an ecosystem around various verticals where we can leverage the technology to build a better scalable business. We are not an IT company, I think. I don't think we are an IT company.
Why is digital so important for all the SMEs? That's the first thing which I like to cover. So we've been hearing about all these talks about digital India, startup India, and there is a reason why, including our Honorable Prime Minister talks about digital India with such passion. We are proud Indians to be now the second largest internet user base in the world. We've surpassed US last year itself. And this number is not small. We are talking of nearly 40 crore people who are now internet connected. 40 crore means nearly 1/3 of our population, nearly 60 to 65% of Europe's population. So that is the quantum of number who are already on digital. So from the perspective that like when you're looking for customers, okay, where do you go? Where you go where people are. So people have now moved to digital, and that's very important. So those numbers are very important. Secondly, out of that 40 crores, if you see 30 crores come from mobile. So people are accessing internet through mobile. And we all are aware that like Reliance Jio is coming and the optic fibers are getting laid out across the country. I'm sure that like in few years time, we'll surpass China for sure. China is the largest internet user base at this point in time. So from that perspective, consumers are now shifting out of the conventional media into digital media. More important is that like we as consumers, as individuals, have changed our habits. Our consumer habits are getting changed. You see schools now talking about go green, basically saying that like don't use books, pencils and other things, use a tab. People are reading books on Kindle. So that's the power of technology and that's the power of digital.
It is indeed my pleasure to be actually addressing you on what we feel is a very important aspect in the life of any SME, and that is the aspect of funding. But when it comes to an SME, and it becomes more like, I would say, a chicken and egg situation, that they would approach a bank. Of course, now banks are also, coming out with various schemes whereby SMEs can be funded. But typically, they do face this kind of a problem that when they go for repeated rounds of capital, they have to face the problem of higher interest burden, which, as compared to the other corporates. So this is something which the government is seized of, which we are all seized of today. And while we understand that SMEs contribute a lot to the GDP, they contribute to employment, at the same time, also we understand that they are the people who are the most hit when it comes to funding. And 4 years back, this particular option has come. Some of you may be aware and some not. This is basically the SME Emerge platform, which has come up with the exchanges, where like any other big corporates, like we see the bigger names, the SMEs also can come and get themselves listed on an exchange. Typically, why then we have been saying that you should come and you could look at coming and getting yourself listed. Why would a company really want to do that? So we know that some companies are very cash rich and they don't need to, actually, require too much of capital. But we have to also understand that the visibility, which is something which we have all been talking about, the visibility that a company can get by merely coming on an exchange platform is immense. And also what is important is that, globally, you start getting viewed as being more compliant, because typically if a company is listed on an exchange, the global investors and all, they would look at it differently. They would say that, okay, they are very well regulated. They must be, subject to a lot of overseeing. And that is something which is very positive for an SME. The other thing is ESOPs. ESOPs, as we all know, is a very good way to retain talent. And we all know that the SMEs face the problem of retaining talent. So ESOPs, which is through an exchange route, has a lot more meaning, I would say, for any person.
One product I would like to tell, that is no any bank can offer you. It is open term loan. We have given its nomenclature as open term loan. I think most of you have the experience of when you go for purchasing of equipment or machinery, you will feel that, okay, I am going to place order, but I don't know about the finance, my loan will be sanctioned or not sanctioned. And if once the loan is sanctioned and then you will approach, I don't know whether the machinery will be available at the same cost or not. Understanding that, taking feedback from the customers, we launched one new product, Open Term Loan. Under that product, just you have to apply along with your renewals of cash credit limit, because every time the SME will require some expansion. So such products are there. Then we are going for the corporate loan, where the customers, existing customers, as well as new customers who have good track record with the other banks also. That also we are financing for the investment in R&D, for your VRS scheme, for soaring up the capital.
Time for a short break. On the other side, we'll put the spotlight on two companies, including Vito Switchgears and Cables, as well as Paperman. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight we're featuring two companies on our Bright Spark segment, Vito Switchgears and Cables and Paperman. Now, the domestic electrical goods market is fragmented with low barriers to entry. Under these circumstances, how does a company sustain its position as a leading manufacturer and supplier? Pooja Jain caught up with the management team of Vito Switchgears and Cables. They're based in Jaipur. She had some questions for them about the business. Here's a look.
The Vito brand has been in existence since 1967 and began as a manufacturer of electrical and modular switches. Since the Gonani Group took over the brand, in just a decade, the company has expanded its product portfolio exponentially, which now includes industrial wires and cables, LED lights, fluorescent lamps, heaters, fans, pumps, machine circuit breakers, and distribution boards, amongst others. When asked about the milestones that were key to the company's growth story, here's what Vito Switchgears and Cables director Akshay Gurnani had to share. So what's been so remarkable about Vito Switchgears and Cables is how much the product portfolio has grown. So how do you go about evaluating parallel markets to even determine that they make viable business sense?
When we acquired the Vito brand in 2005, it was only manufacturing electrical switches and modular switches. After we acquired the brand, when we had a dream of giving all electrical segment under one roof, so we took the brand Vito and we started manufacturing CFL, wires, cables, LED, bells, MCBs, and many more products. A big brand means having all electrical products under the same roof.
So for any electrical goods manufacturer, their distribution strategy is really the heart of their business. Walk us through yours.
For a brand like Vito, the major important thing for our success is we have a very strong dealer network in Rajasthan. We have more than 2,500 dealers in Rajasthan, and currently we have strategy of growing in other states also, and having a good relation with your dealers is a very important thing for electrical industry.
Now, compliance is of course a huge challenge in this business. So your approach to maintaining those standards.
Each and every switch is tested 20,000 times and then it is further supplied to our dealer for selling it. So quality, maintaining the quality is a very important thing in this field.
Taking things a bit closer to home, your views on GST and the impact that goods and service tax will have going forward on this business?
See, our business is very positively welcoming the GST. It's a very good step taken by the government, as right now we are paying VAT, excise duty, service tax, which makes a total something around 30%, and GST is talked something around coming near 18%, which is going to be a very positive thing for our business.
So what are your expansion plans going forward, both domestically and internationally?
See, first of all, when we talk about the domestic market, in Rajasthan we have more than 2,500 dealers already, and now we have planned to grow in other market also, other states. We have already covered 10 states in this Forecast that within next 5 years we'll be pan-India and we'll have more than 5,000 dealers network.
So what was the original thought process behind even approaching the NSE to get listed on their SME exchange platform?
See, NSE listing is a very positive thing for a brand, and there are many positive effects of that, like getting cooperative funding, growing your business. And I would like to tell you that before getting listed, we had a CC limit from our bank of 10 crores, and now we are enjoying a CC limit of 35 crores. That was after getting listed on NSE. In 2012, our company's turnover was 54 crores, and the last year which we have closed is 170 crores.
Phenomenal.
So, you know, the growth which we have got after getting listed on the NSE board is like phenomenal. And for the next year, we are planning to close our sales on 270 CR.
With an eye towards expansion, in 2012 the company leveraged the SME platform of the National Stock Exchange to raise capital funding and migrated to the main board, the Bombay Stock Exchange, just 3 years later. Today, a leader in its space, the company has a market cap just shy of 240 crore rupees. With state-of-the-art manufacturing plants across the country, Vito Switchgears and Cables manufactures over 20 lakh bundles of wires and cables and over 600 different units of electrical accessories annually. And with lofty goals ahead, this is just the beginning.
Selling your trash at the end of every month is a common thing in most Indian households, but we get a meager amount in exchange for the trash we sell. Have you then ever thought about the small amount that can possibly be used to get a child nutritional food for a day or to even help a child go to school? That's exactly what Paperman is doing. Vidya Bharati has a story on Paperman.
No, I don't have idea about that exactly.
जिन लोग के पास बहुत सारे न्यूज़पेपर होते हैं हम लोग उन लोग को देते हैं और वो हम लोग के लिए पैसा देते हैं और कुछ नहीं।
कबाड़ी वाला जो भी अपना अनयूज या अनवांटेड जो चीज़ें होती है वो हम उनको दे के उसके बदले में अपने को एक सर्टेन अमाउंट दे देता है.
That is the perception we hold about our kabadiwalas. Believing in trash being the new cash, an Ashoka fellow Matthew Jose set out to change perceptions about our local kabadiwalas. He set up a social enterprise to get them their long due credit for being recyclers of waste for ages. A scrap dealer associated with this company is issued a Paperman ID card and is given access to the Paperman app. The app notifies whenever a nearby household calls for waste collection. But what differentiates Paperman is the options it provides to its customers. The money one realizes from selling scrap can be donated to various causes one believes in. Tying up with NGOs like Nanhi Kali, Aim for Seva and Bhumi, Paperman is trying to create an alternate trash economy which is worth more than 20,000 crore.
Matthew, take us to the journey of setting up a company like Paperman.
Well, it started when I was 21 and I was trying to figure out how is that I can make a difference to the environment. I was agitated by the whole idea of people throwing away, and that's when I met a kabadiwala who came to my house to pick up my stuff like paper, plastic, glass lying at my house. I got curious about what he does with it and I just followed him, and that's the start of Paperman, and from there I learned one step at a time.
What exactly do you do as an organization?
The vision of the company is to create a world with no landfills. So we really want to create products that make people not to throw away things, right, and start valuing things that they have, and create and find an alternate way of responsibly dealing with it. So that's what our primary enthusiasm is for. You know, that's our enthusiasm, that's our commitment to. So we have various products that help to do this. Right now, say simply giving your stuff to your local kabadiwala is recycling. That most people don't figure that out, right? So what we have done is we have made this entire process very easy for you using technology. Right? We have apps, we have a website, we have a call center where simply by like say giving a missed call or by the click of a button, you can get your stuff out of your house responsibly, even get paid for it or choose to donate it to a charity of your choice. So that's what we do at Paperman.
You say that you want to disrupt the lives of kabadiwala. How do you plan to do that?
So we really believe that Indian kabadiwala, right, is a real recycle man, right? He doesn't talk much about environment or anything like that, but he actually goes out every day and makes sure that he does his bit for the environment. So this really empowered me 6 years back. This whole the kabadiwala and what he does really empowered me, and I kind of felt the difficulty that they go through, right? So for me, the most important thing was to bring dignity to their lives. So how do we do this? We have a mobile app that helps the kabadiwalas to manage their orders. Second, we also help them with a solar-powered rickshaw, right? A solar-powered rickshaw that we partnered with an organization called Pibeam, where we are serving them to, make it easier for transition from their old cycle rickshaws. Third, we also help them with their getting better dignity, right, when they go to their labor, because of the way they do it, and instead of calling out and going, they are actually called for into the houses. So the way people look at the kabadiwala is changing. So that is, if a kabadiwala can tomorrow come and buy a house next to your house, that is when we say, hey, we've impacted their lives.
You're trying to organize an unorganized sector. By when do you think that is possible in India?
We are very optimistic about it. So we really we can't put a date to it as of today, but we really are optimistic that today we've reached to 270 people. It's a 1.5 million strong community, right? So we've been able to get to 270 people as of now. We have a running model that's working. With the right kind of people together and with the right plan, and if we execute what we plan well, I think we should be able to get there very fast.
Matthew, what are your future plans looking like?
Future plans is to keep working with kabadiwalas, work more closely with them, build more resources for them, help them to connect better with people, and create a great platform for people to have more fun recycling. So we want to take recycling from this whole idea that's a gyan, and that is where people talk a lot about it, or things, but nobody knows how to practice it, right? We want to make it very, very simple for people. We want to make it very interesting, very fun, and very, very engaging, and that's what we want to do. So I think in somewhere we say Paperman is an opportunity for you to do good, right? That's the biggest and very easy, and at the convenience of your doorstep.
Now feel proud if you give away trash to your local kabadiwalas, because they are your doors to effective waste recycling.
Completely out of time then in this episode of The Leaders of Tomorrow. We always love hearing from you. Do write into us at leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. You can reach us on social media otherwise using the hashtag LOT, or call us on that number you see on your screens. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.